We were on the lava fields, and I said at the very beginning and everyone didn't believe me, and I'm like, this can go off.
You had a feeling about it?
100%.
Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet were once considered Hollywood's dream couple, a symbol of love, family, and shared values. Their chemistry seemed effortless, and their bond unbreakable. So when news of their highly publicized split broke, fans were left stunned, questioning what could have gone wrong. Now, Jason Momoa is breaking his silence, offering emotional insights into the struggles that led to their separation and how he's finding his way forward. These revelations not only shed light on the end of a cherished relationship, but also reveal how the journey has shaped his family life, career, and personal growth. But what does this all mean for Lisa Bonet, and why was it truly over? Before becoming the towering figure recognized worldwide, Jason Momoa's path was marked by struggle, cultural complexity, and resilience. Born Joseph Jason Namakiha Momoa on August 1, 1979, in Honolulu, Hawaii, he carried the weight of a richly diverse heritage. His father was native Hawaiian, while his mother had German, Irish, and Pawnee ancestry. After his parents' divorce, Jason moved with his mother to Norwalk, Iowa, a drastic change from the lush tropics of Hawaii. There, he often felt like an outsider, his sun-kissed skin and multicultural background making him stand out in a community that couldn't quite relate to his identity. Yet those early feelings of displacement instilled in him a resilience and a deep yearning for belonging, something he later found with Lisa Bonet, who herself came from a mixed heritage background. Jason spent summers in Hawaii with his father, reconnecting with his roots and soaking in the traditions of his people. These visits gave him a spiritual grounding that would carry him through the challenges of fame and personal life. This duality, between the rugged simplicity of Iowa and the soulful heritage of Hawaii, shaped him into a man of depth and contrast. Tall, magnetic, and athletic, Jason had undeniable presence even as a teen, but his mother, a painter, encouraged him to explore the softer, more creative sides of himself. He developed a love for storytelling and expression, qualities that would later bond him deeply with Lisa Bonet. When Jason met Lisa, it was as if two parallel lives finally converged. Lisa, too, had navigated the complexities of dual heritage. Born Lisa Michelle Bonet on November 16, 1967, in San Francisco, her roots were African American on her father's side and Jewish American on her mother's. Raised mostly by her mother in the modest neighborhood of Rada, California, Lisa understood the delicate balance of identity, self-expression, and independence, values that would come to define her life and her relationship with Jason. Jason's rise to fame wasn't immediate. After an unexpected break on Baywatch Hawaii, he spent years grinding through roles in shows like North Shore and Stargate Atlantis, often being cast in roles that failed to capture his complexity. His big break came with his powerful audition for Game of Thrones, a haunting performance of the Maori haka that landed him the iconic role of Khal Drogo. While the role made him a household name, it also brought challenges, including being typecast and misunderstood by the industry. But through it all, it was his relationship with Lisa that kept him grounded, a woman he once idolized as a child watching The Cosby Show, and who would later become the love of his life. Together, Jason and Lisa seemed to represent a perfect fusion of strength, soul, and artistic spirit. But behind the scenes, as Jason now reveals, the pressures of Hollywood, evolving priorities, and the complexity of balancing personal identity with public life eventually became too great to bear. Now, as he reflects on the end of their marriage, Jason opens a new chapter, one marked by self-discovery, renewed focus on family, and a deeper understanding of who he truly is. This duality of cultural heritage shaped Lisa Bonet into someone deeply introspective and committed to authenticity, qualities that would one day resonate powerfully with Jason Momoa. Long before their paths crossed, Lisa had already become a star. At just 16, she captured the national spotlight as Denise Huxtable on The Cosby Show. Denise, with her effortlessly cool, bohemian independence, mirrored Lisa's own spirit, making her an icon of the 1980s. Critics praised her for bringing a fresh, relatable energy to the sitcom, and she earned an Emmy nomination for her role. But Lisa was always more than just her television persona. She was an artist in search of depth and meaning, even if that meant challenging expectations. In 1987, she took a bold risk by starring in Angel Heart, a provocative psychological thriller that stirred controversy due to its explicit content. The film marked a stark departure from her sitcom image, but highlighted Lisa's determination to carve her own path. Around the same time, she met musician Lenny Kravitz. Bonding over their shared experiences with mixed-race identity and creative expression, they married on Lisa's 20th birthday and welcomed their daughter, Zoe Kravitz, in 1988. Though their marriage ended in 1993, Lisa and Lenny redefined co-parenting in Hollywood. Their enduring friendship and mutual respect formed the foundation of a loving, blended family, one that would eventually include Jason Momoa. Remarkably, Lenny and Jason developed their own unique bond, a testament to Lisa's gift for fostering harmony among the people she loved. After The Cosby Show, Lisa continued her career with careful intention. She took on roles sparingly, focusing instead on privacy, spiritual exploration, and above all, motherhood. Fame was never Lisa's pursuit. Peace, authenticity, and meaningful connection were her priorities. This philosophy would later have a profound influence on Jason, who, when he met Lisa in 2005, was still a rising actor trying to find his place in Hollywood. When Jason met Lisa, she embodied everything he admired: strength, individuality, and a soulful connection to her roots. For Lisa, Jason's humility, passion, and deep respect for her journey offered a refreshing contrast to the superficiality of the entertainment world. Despite their age difference and different career stages, they shared a grounded understanding of what truly mattered: family, art, and purpose. Jason, in fact, had admired Lisa since childhood. He often recalled watching her as Denise Huxtable when he was 8 and telling his mother, "Mommy, I want that one." Nearly 2 decades later, he found himself face to face with his lifelong crush. Their love story began in 2005 at a jazz club in Los Angeles, a setting full of smoky ambience and late-night rhythm. Introduced through mutual friends, their connection was instant. Lisa, dressed in her signature bohemian style, and Jason, with newly dreaded hair inspired by Lisa's iconic look, quickly bonded. Jason was mesmerized, struggling to keep his cool as he felt what he described as fireworks in his heart. The night flowed naturally, and after hours of conversation, Lisa offered to drive him home. On the way, they stopped at a late-night cafe, the now-closed legendary spot that would forever mark the beginning of their love story. The legendary 101 Coffee Shop in Hollywood became the setting for a pivotal moment in Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet's love story. Lisa, with her effortless cool, ordered a Guinness and grits, an unexpected combination that completely captivated Jason. Her relaxed confidence, so different from the polished and performative aura of typical Hollywood personalities, left a deep impression on him. They spent the rest of the night laughing, talking, and discovering a profound connection that reached far beyond physical attraction. In the weeks and months that followed, the two became almost inseparable. Jason, still navigating the unpredictable world of acting with sporadic gigs and uncertain prospects, found unwavering comfort and stability in Lisa. She, in turn, saw in him a partner full of adventure, sincerity, and deep reverence for both nature and family. Their relationship was grounded in mutual respect and shared values. Both Jason and Lisa carried the layered experience of mixed-race identities and artistic ambition in an industry that often demands conformity. To outsiders, their chemistry may have appeared sudden, but it was rooted in aligned worldviews and a love for authenticity. Lisa, having already experienced the extremes of fame through The Cosby Show and her marriage to Lenny Kravitz, was no longer interested in the spotlight. Jason, guided by his Hawaiian heritage and Midwestern upbringing, shared that desire for a grounded, family-focused life. Their bond deepened as they began building a family. In July 2007, they welcomed their first child, Lola Iolani Momoa. Her name reflected their spiritual leanings, referencing the hawks seen flying overhead during her birth. In December 2008, their son, Nakoa Wolf Manakawapo Namakiha Momoa, was born on a stormy evening, his name honoring both cultural roots and natural forces. These moments marked the beginning of a new, blended family dynamic. Jason's paternal instincts flourished, while Lisa embraced motherhood with the same depth and devotion she had shown to her daughter Zoe Kravitz. Their home became a sanctuary of music, creativity, spirituality, and cultural celebration. Their inclusive family unit even extended to Lenny Kravitz, who had grown remarkably close to Jason. The bond between them was so strong that Lenny would later describe Jason as a brother. Together, they defied conventional narratives around exes, co-parenting, and blended families, showing the world a new, harmonious model of love and kinship. While Lisa Bonet maintained her legacy as a trailblazer in television and film, Jason's career soon skyrocketed. His portrayal of the fearsome Dothraki warlord Khal Drogo in Game of Thrones made him a breakout star. With his commanding screen presence, Jason drew global attention. Yet off-screen, he faced frustrating challenges. Many casting agents and directors typecast him, assuming he lacked range or fluency in English. His scar, earned during a 2008 altercation, and long hair reinforced these stereotypes, with some even believing he only spoke Dothraki. Despite the success of Game of Thrones, roles became scarce, ironically, because Drogo had been such a standout character. Fortunately, that tide would soon turn. Things took a turn for the better when visionary director Zack Snyder approached Jason Momoa with the idea of playing Aquaman in the DC Extended Universe. Snyder broke away from traditional comic book portrayals of the character, envisioning Aquaman not as the clean-cut, blonde hero, but as a powerful Polynesian warrior deeply connected to the ocean, a perspective that aligned perfectly with Jason's heritage. Suddenly, the identity that had once made Jason feel like an outsider in Iowa and a typecast, barbarian, in Hollywood became his greatest asset. Landing the role of Arthur Curry was more than a career milestone, it was a cultural victory. His native Hawaiian roots and genuine love for the sea breathed emotional depth into the character, distinguishing him from other DC superheroes. When Aquaman was released in 2018, it became a global box office sensation, grossing over $1 billion worldwide. Fans praised Jason's rugged yet heartfelt portrayal of a modern superhero who was connected to ancestry, family, and purpose in ways rarely seen in comic adaptations. However, the rising success came with new and challenging responsibilities. Filming for major motion pictures demanded extensive travel and long absences, sometimes half a year at a time in places like Australia and Canada. Despite his professional triumphs, Jason struggled with being away from his children and Lisa. Having grown up in a divorced household himself, he was keenly aware of the instability it could bring to a child's life. Jason had always prided himself on being a present and involved father. Lisa, too, had strong views on family life. Having been in the spotlight since her teens, she now valued stability and calm in her Los Angeles home. She believed their children needed consistency, a grounded environment far from the whirlwind of Hollywood. As Jason's star continued to rise, tensions naturally developed. Yet the couple remained deeply supportive of one another. Lisa would visit Jason on set, surprising him with the kids, like on his 38th birthday while filming Aquaman. They also worked together on the 2014 indie film Road to Paloma, which Jason directed, co-wrote, and starred in, with Lisa playing a supporting role and encouraging his directorial ambitions. Meanwhile, Jason's fame gave rise to his growing activism. He became a passionate advocate for ocean conservation, using his Aquaman platform to highlight environmental issues. He infused his performances with a heavy metal energy, often citing metal music as inspiration for the raw intensity of his characters. Despite their deep bond and shared values, their individual paths were beginning to diverge. Jason's career was on a steep upward trajectory, and his purpose-driven artistry and expanding commitments began to pull him in directions that Lisa, who favored a more reclusive and introspective lifestyle, found difficult to reconcile. The underlying challenge that had always defined their relationship, navigating two different worlds, began to resurface. Jason, from a childhood split between Iowa and Hawaii to becoming the face of a billion-dollar franchise, had long sought a sense of belonging. Lisa, too, had grown up between cultural lines, with a Jewish mother and African American father, and had often felt like she didn't fully fit into either world. This mutual search for identity and authenticity had brought them together. Their union had once provided a powerful sanctuary, a safe space of understanding. But over time, the balance became more difficult to maintain. Lisa found comfort in a quieter life focused on her children and personal artistic pursuits, while Jason leaned into the rapid momentum of his booming film career, from Justice League to Aquaman and beyond. The opportunities were immense, and increasingly incompatible with the life they had built together. Those who know Lisa best recognize she had always followed her own path, regardless of public perception. While Jason Momoa's career had reached new heights, demanding long filming schedules and global press commitments, Lisa had grown increasingly rooted in the life she'd built in Los Angeles. She had once embraced the hectic pace of the entertainment world, traveling widely as a young actress, but now prioritized a stable, nurturing environment for their children. As Jason took on one blockbuster after another, Lisa maintained their home, guided their children through schooling and friendships, and leaned on a trusted circle that included her ex-husband Lenny Kravitz and daughter Zoe. Despite shared values and a deep mutual respect, their day-to-day realities began to drift apart. Lisa's creative ambitions were often set aside to accommodate Jason's career momentum. Their lives, once driven by joint passion projects, became dominated by the scale and intensity of the film industry. The financial rewards were undeniable, but the simplicity they once cherished began to erode. Although they remained committed to co-parenting and maintaining a unified front for their children, tensions mounted about where to live, how to raise the kids, and what the next phase of life should look like. Eventually, these growing differences led to a heartfelt and public decision. On January 12, 2022, Jason posted a now-deleted Instagram statement announcing that he and Lisa were ending their marriage. It was a surprise to fans who had long viewed them as a beacon of grounded, bohemian love and family unity. Yet the message framed the separation as a necessary evolution, acknowledging the turbulent times the world was experiencing and their ongoing love for their children. While amicable on the surface, insiders knew this was not an overnight decision, but the outcome of years of strain and compromise. Their divorce was finalized in January 2024, closing a major chapter in their lives. Speculation naturally followed. Some wondered if they were reconciling after Jason was spotted delivering a Christmas tree to Lisa's home, or attending events in support of Zoe. But Jason addressed the rumors directly, saying, "We're not back together, we're family." It was a subtle but significant distinction. Still, tabloids spun narratives suggesting Lisa had become disillusioned with Jason's celebrity, or that she felt eclipsed by his rise to superstardom. Whispers in Hollywood questioned her future, with a cutting refrain making the rounds. "It's over for her." Yet those who truly understood Lisa knew otherwise. She had never chased fame or conformed to the expectations of the spotlight. Her life had always been about authenticity, art, family, and peace, and in choosing that, even in the face of heartache and change, she remained true to herself. Lisa Bonet had always prioritized authenticity over fame, and in her view, perhaps their separation wasn't an ending, it was simply the beginning of a new, deliberately chosen chapter. For Jason Momoa, however, the legal finality of the divorce felt like a gut punch. The relationship he had poured his heart into, the one he once envisioned as a lifelong partnership, was suddenly no longer intact. The emotional weight of that loss lingered, forcing him to confront the gap between the dream he once held and the demanding reality of his evolving life. Still, amid the heartbreak, both Jason and Lisa maintained a deep mutual respect. They continued to spend parts of the holidays together for the sake of their children. Jason remained involved in Lisa's life, often helping around her home or surprising the kids with meaningful trips. Their unique balance of separation and unity intrigued the public. How could two people share so much love, yet still choose to part ways? That question, of course, belonged only to them, its answers shaped by private complexities the world would never fully know. Yet fans longed for clarity. They waited for the moment Jason would finally speak openly, pulling back the curtain on his heartbreak and revealing the new path he envisioned. For months, he stayed silent, despite intense speculation. Social media followers and entertainment outlets clung to every cryptic comment or gesture, hoping for insight. During this time, Jason threw himself into his work, taking on bold new roles, like the villain Dante Reyes in Fast X, and continuing his environmental activism. Then, at last, came the emotional moment fans had anticipated. In a heartfelt interview, Jason Momoa finally broke his silence. When asked about the split, he paused, a long, thoughtful silence, before responding with sincerity. "It wasn't easy," he began, his voice soft yet steady. "We tried. We really did. There was so much love between us, and still is, but sometimes life takes you in different directions." He explained that their decision wasn't made lightly or quickly, but one they both knew, deep down, had to happen. Jason spoke with warmth about the challenges of raising children in the public eye and expressed his enduring respect for Lisa. He emphasized that their years together were built on love, mutual understanding, and shared growth. The foundation they created, both for each other and for their children, would always be cherished. During the same interview, Jason reflected on how fatherhood and his cultural heritage continued to guide him. His Hawaiian roots, with their emphasis on family, tradition, and environmental stewardship, remained central to who he was and who he aspired to be. He credited Lisa with shaping him in profound ways, helping him grow not just as an artist, but as a partner, a father, and a man. Though the pain of their separation was real, Jason saw it also as a period of healing and reflection, an opportunity to redefine his priorities and chart a new course. Above all, his words conveyed a deep and ongoing commitment to co-parenting their children in an environment of love and respect. This emotional revelation offered a rare and vulnerable glimpse into the man behind the superhero persona. And as Jason's truth came into focus, it became clear that their story, while no longer a traditional love story, was still one of deep connection, transformation, and lasting bonds.